the end of the day. You gotta feel good at the end of the day. It's all that matters. Oh, I pray just to feel good at the end of the day.
Good morning, fellow dorks, and welcome back to Alone in the Dork. We're back at it, baby. I did, let's see, a couple of rule clarifications. Yeah, I don't quite know. I did have a little discussion on the Blackoath Discord channel, which is another reason I love these games. They have a very active community, and I just kind of reached out and asked, and I had a couple of people answer, and then Alex T, the designer of the games, he chimed in. So if I do have that dagger in my hand, yes, I would get that extra aether, but I would have disadvantage in all my attacks, because again, I'm just not fluid with how to use two weapons. I'm just not going to wield the dagger, but let's just jump into the game, because I did have another commenter. I think their name was Burrs or something like that. They kind of gave me like a really fun idea. So, okay, let's go. Let's go into the game and get going. So I have an idea here. So my character, like, again, I'm new at this, me as the player, and my character's like, what? It's like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe I can like do that. There was a patrol quest. Maybe I can like do that as well while I'm escorting this person. Because all the patrol quest is, I'm just like looking for rifts. I'm like, no rift. I don't see any rifts. And I did check online, and this is where Burrs comes in. I was like, can I double up on quests? Because that's all patrolling really is. I think it's supposed to be like the easiest of them. I'm just like, oh, I see a rift, and I think I'll shoot a flare or something like that. And then I let the strong strangers go deal with it. So I'm going to try to do that. And the idea, I was like, am I allowed to do that? And Burrs came up with a really fun idea. Because me, if I was like being escorted somewhere, it's like, dude, where are you going? Like, what are you doing? Because like, there's also other things where I could be like mining for minerals and stuff like that. And like, I'd be really mad if I paid someone, I guess, to like take me from point A to B. And there's like, why are you picking mushrooms all the time? Why are you like wandering off and like digging ore? Why don't you get me to where you're supposed to get me? So Burrs came up with the idea of, why don't you just set a usage die timer to like test their patience? And I think that's a really, really funny idea. So I'm going to do that. But first, I'm going to go check out. So I do have the shield spell. But since I'm now just going to be using one weapon, I'm going to see if a shield actually like hampers me in any way. Because I may just take whatever the shield gives me. I always had the idea of being dual wielding, but I may as well see if I can just get a shield. So let's see how much they cost and if I can get one. And I don't think you need to be proficient for a shield or a helm. It has a parry bonus of 10, which is what that spell gives me. And I think I can use it with my sword. So with my shield, I get a plus 10 parry bonus, and then my sword gives me a plus 10 as well. I think I'm just going to do that, and then I don't have to worry about the shield spell, and I can replace it with something else. So I think that's maybe what I'm going to do. I'll just get a shield. And I can afford that, because, again, if you remember, I got my little adventurer's kit, like my first adventurer's kit. And I see it, I can picture like what it would look like. I picture like going into Walmart and just getting like the generic adventuring kit. It's in like a plastic bag, and there's like probably like a kid on front of it wearing all the gear and like having his backpack. But with that, I also did get a backpack, which I don't need. I already have one of those. So I could probably start selling some of the stuff from that if I need to. So let's go ahead and get a shield. I have 72 aetherite, so I can afford something pretty good. I'm just going to get a medium shield that costs 20. I don't have to sell all my crap, which is good because I don't want to. So I'm going to get a medium shield that is going to give me a 15 parry bonus. That will be my offhand. It has a D8 integrity. Oh, interesting. So the shield helps with the parry. It doesn't give you defense. So like my character like kind of like quickly runs back to the adventurer board, not knowing if it like, I think those things are specifically for me. I don't know if it's for all novices, but nonetheless, I'm going to run there. It's like, oh my gosh, okay, good, there it is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do the other option I had for a possible quest, and we're going to just say it's still there, and then we're going to set the scene for meeting this person I'm transporting. So let's say the quest was, it was 3 skill books, and to do that, I needed to do a patrol. So let's just read patrol real quick. Now, there's also delivery where you got to mine these ingredients. And again, same thing with manipulation. When I picked gathering, I literally thought I was foraging for berries. And my gathering is not amazing. It's a 10. Gathering is how good you are at finding ore and stuff like that. And each area has different kinds of things you can find in it. Some things have more ore you can get, other ones have more like alchemical pieces that you can get. So you have to roll to see if you find them. Then you have to gather them properly. And my gathering sucks. But that is also a way to make money, which I didn't realize either. So I can just like go out in the wilderness and just kind of look for alchemical ingredients. And then when you do get formulas or blueprints, you can actually construct the items, or you can sell them, which sounds pretty nice, but I'm really bad at it. But so a patrol, it is 2d10 plus 10 hexes. And my hope is I already have to go 6 hexes, that maybe I can just kind of like get some of that out of the way, just going straight south. And then I can start to like wander around and check out different terrain and stuff like that. So let's see how long this patrol is. So I see it. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get that. So I'll hit the button and I get like, bzzz, like a little receipt comes out. This is not timed. So 2d10. Oh, this could take a while. 2d10 plus 10 hexes. So traveling's pretty fun, actually. I was reading up on that last night. So let's just see like how far I need to go. Oh, 6. That's no. I was going to say, oh my gosh, that is exactly what my escort is. But no, that's not even half of it. That's a great low roll, though, which is good for us, just for what we're trying to do. But it is 16. So I need to go 16 hexes because it was 2d10 plus 10. So this will account for, if I'm allowed to do it, this will account for my escort. And then I still have to go another 10 hexes on top of that. So this is where I need to get. I mean, what is this region down here? It's not even named. It's scary. It's just mountains. I'm guessing I can't do much about that. There's Lake Moonlight. I could go further in Crystal Plains. I could hit a forest. I could go into like the Mudbloom Marshes. I could go near Lake Moonlight. I could go a bit into the Arnemist Forest, which there is an expansion book for as well. And then once I do this like loop of, 16 hexes, then I can just like anchor jump back into Helos and see if I get a companion. Or maybe, maybe I go down there, I finish the escort thing, I jump back to Helos, I get a companion, then I bring the companion with me and go check out some other areas. Oh, the labyrinth is here. Look at that. So the labyrinth's way over here, but I did that bird carried me to Helos. Oh, I didn't know okay, that makes more sense now. I thought it was like literally in the middle of the city. It's like, what a strange city. All right, so I'm all excited. It's like the first day of work. So let's meet our person. We're kind of setting the scene. So we're just going to say my scene is deliver this person. But let's like roll and see who it is. And we're going to just say it is a crappy job. Like at first I thought, oh, I'm going to escort a caravan. The caravan I'm going to have be one person. It's just one freaking person. And they're like not even an important person. So I thought like I was going to be like guarding this like patrol of all these wagons and stuff like that. It's just like a person of probably little importance. And we'll just kind of like roll and just see who this person is and like where they're headed and like all that kind of good stuff. Here we go. NPC reactions. Again, I have like a little receipt. I'm like, okay. And I have to ask directions, like how to get to this place on time. I probably show up late. And let's just see what their initial reaction is. So let's just roll a D12 and just see like how I'm greeted by this person. It's a D12. A 1. They're dismissive. Great. I love it. Maybe they've had escorts before and like they look at me. I probably have a little name tag on that says, hi, I'm Erebus. I will be your escort for the next couple of days. And he's just like, okay, whatever. Let's see how old I am. I didn't think of that. Young. Okay. So let's see what the NPC is doing. Let's check out their motivation. Let's go down to this motivation. 13. Anger. So maybe they're mad that they have to go on whatever this is. And they're just taking it out on me. This sucks. And I'm just trying to see what exactly is it that they're going for. So let's just roll on this. What is the NPC doing table? 17. Tending to their wounds. So maybe there's like out in the Crystal Plains. Maybe there's like this like spa or something. You know how like, it's like, oh, I've got to the tuberculosis. I need to go to the tropics. So maybe just the air in the Crystal Plains, they've got some like quackpot doctor that's like, oh yeah, you need to go and breathe in the crystalline etheric air. It's good for the lungs. So there's like this treatment center out there or something like that. But it's really hippity-dippity, like new age treatment center. And they're just like a total like beehole along the way. And maybe they think I'm going to carry them or something. This is just a trek they do often. And they're just like, just a complete butthole. So that is my story. So this is my first arc. So let's just roll as we start making our way and see if there's like a twist on this. Oh, let's give him a name. I love the name generators. Yeah. 95. Isildur. Maybe he has a ring and we needed to like take it to a volcano instead. Okay, Isildur or Isildur. All right, I'm gonna roll another name just to give him a full name, just to make him sound more pompous. 72. Valtorian Isildur or Isildur Valtorian. That's great. Isildur Valtorian. That just sounds like a butthole, doesn't it? And he probably makes me like say his name, so I have to call him by his full name because he's such a jerk. All right, Mr. Isildur Valtorian, let's get going. The day's young. The sun's in the sky. All right, so we have right here, after you establish a scene, you roll to see if there's a twist. At first, it's a 1d6, and if you roll a 1, a surprise event is included. Let's roll and see if there's a twist. Watch there be a twist. Nope, we're good. I think this guy's thrown enough curveballs at me as it is. All right, let's look at the stupid patrol. Like, what is my job here? I got my receipts. I'm like reading them, trying to like figure out what's going on. Scrolling back and forth between the hyperlinked indexes on it. For your duration of the quest, you must do a travel check every day for active rifts in the vicinity. This is done by rolling a d10. A 1 or 2 indicates the presence of a rift. And then I have a unique, and it probably, the machine's like, boop, just like pumped out this little beacon for me to be deployed to mark its location. I probably have to like journal where I was as well, just like prove that I did it, because I don't think I have a GPS tracker on me. So I'm probably have this little log of like, all right, I'm 1 hex south. I don't know what the measurement is in this game. It's probably stupid kilometers. Freaking Europeans with their logical measurements of distance. All the patrol's really doing is just getting you out of town and making you walk around and look at things, which is fine with me. Traveling across Cathor. As a stranger, you'll be doing a lot of traveling. The basic unit is the travel day, which represents the average distance a party can traverse on foot. A single travel day allows me to travel a number of hexes that varies depending on the region. Traveling in Helos and the surrounding farmland, that is the fastest. I can move up to 3 hexes a day. When I do hit into the Crystal Plains, it's just 2 hexes a day, so it will slow down when I get there. Once per hex, I do roll a die, dictated by the terrain that I'm in. And if I roll a 1 or a 2 on it, I come across an interesting encounter, a noteworthy one, as a matter of fact. A 3 to 5, it's an interesting find, and then a 6 or above is a combat. So, if you do remember last session, because it is an escort service that I am providing, what this means is it's actually a 5 or above as a combat. So we're like easy prey. Because again, I've got this wheezy old guy that I'm like probably like dragging behind me. Maybe I have this little like Rebtevia cart. That's a Fiddler on the Roof reference. I don't know how many people are going to get that. But I have this like little like cart that he makes me like pull him in. So it's just this little 2-wheeled cart and he's like sitting in the back. And I'm kind of like lugging him in this thing. So like any bandits are going to be like, oh my God, let's go kill those people and loot their bodies. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to stroll through these just kind of like hinterlands just outside of Helos. All right, well, let's go, buddy. And we just kind of like start making our way across the plains. We can get to 3 hexes, which is just the border here. So what I plan on doing is like probably like a little map. Like what I plan on doing is right when we get to the border, before we hit the Crystal Plains, maybe we'll camp, in the protection of the plains, and maybe that'll be best for us. And old jerky Isildur Valtorian is like, well, the air isn't very healthy here, but I guess that's what we have to do, if you say so. Okay, we'll just sit back and relax. It's like he didn't even get me a pillow. So here we go. We're rolling a 1d6, hoping for the best here. I don't want a 5 or a 6. A 1! Ooh, what's that mean? What's that mean? That means we find an interesting encounter. I go to the noteworthy encounter section. I roll a 1d20. What do we find just south of the city? Off to a great start. A ghostly figure in council robes drifts through a strangely empty streets. Oh, makes sense. Like this is like right when we're leaving probably then. And he's repeating, 5 years is enough. A reason check. I'm not the most reasonable person in the world. Is that a 3? Oh, God dang it. I think that was a 3. 69 though. Excellent. It's the same man. He's grown young. Feel free to leave a chat and explain to everyone else what I just did there. Like 5 years is enough. Enough what? And they just vanish. And I'm probably like shooketh. And the guy in the back said, just go. Just go. Okay. 5 years is enough. I know 8 is enough, but 5 years too, apparently. I don't think I ever watched that show once. All right, so here we go. We're just kind of cruising. If I were a rich man. Okay, I think we get another interesting find. I think 1 or 2 is an interesting find. So let's roll another 1d20. Ooh, it's almost a 20. Oh, whoops. Wrong table. So it says right here, a 1 or 2 indicates an interesting encounter. So I went to the interesting finds table, where actually an interesting encounter means a noteworthy encounter, where if you come across something of interest, it's an interesting find. So 14 on the interesting encounter. All right, so here we go. We got a 14. Oh, a charming countryside inn offering a warm bed and hot meal for travelers. So the guy's probably like, we stopping? What? We stopping? Oh, no, we're going to camp out at night. I got, some tents and stuff all set up for us, and I have a way I'm going to flip over your wagon, and then that'll provide shelter from the wind. And he's like, we're stopping. So let's see, do I talk this guy out of like just stopping at this freaking inn and slowing us down? I'm going to roll, this is just on the Oracle table, like a 1 or a 2 is a yes, a 3 is a yes with complications. Yeah, we're stopping. God dang it, this guy. And then he's like, well, you get rewarded for this, so you can pay for this. What? So he's going to make me pay. Let's just say it's 1d4 plus 2 aetheryte. I don't know what it's going to be, but I don't feel like looking it up. So there's 4 aetheryte. I'm like, all right, cool. Hate this guy. All right, so we stay the night there. I lose money, and we slow down at this thing because this guy wants a comfortable bed. And he probably, the next morning, all he does is complain about how uncomfortable his bed was and how we're behind schedule. The evening, I'm probably just like sitting outside of this charming like inn, waiting on this person when every now and then he probably has a bell he rings for me. But nonetheless, I'm just like looking for any shadow rifts. So let's see if I find any. No, nothing here. What a dumb day. Okay, day 2. Now we will slow down a little bit as well. So I don't quite know how that works. When I do enter the Crystal Plains, my speed will slow down. But let's just say we get a slow start. His back hurts and he makes me massage it. So we do slowly make our way into this area here. Late start, and I'm going to roll a 1d6 to see what we encounter here. A 3. That is, in fact, the next page, which is the interesting finds. I'm going to roll a 1d20 to see what we find here out in the hinterlands. 17. A wandering merchant has gathered a small crowd. They claim to be selling a loom that threads fate and self. Well, step right up. What would you like here? Would you like my loom? I'm probably such an idiot. I'm probably like, really? Again, I'm so like baffled by this world. I don't know like how common the world I came from is, but maybe all this magic stuff, like maybe I am actually about to buy it, and the dude stops me. Isildur Calrissian, whatever his name is, stops me. He's no, you don't buy that. So maybe he is starting to feel a little bad for me, or maybe he just doesn't like charlatans. So this guy does stop me from purchasing this thing. Well, let's see. Do I think the guy's being a jerk, or I think he has my best interest at heart? Yeah, I think he's being mean. Okay, I won't do it. Why does this guy hate me so much? Maybe I feel like I'm like pushing my luck with this dude. Oh, and I haven't even done the usage die. So I think I set it at a D6. So let's just see. So for each day, I was going to do each hex, but if you guys have seen any of my Black Oath games, you know I go through usage die fast. So for each day, I'm going to see how much I get on his nerves, just looking for rifts. I was thinking like maybe I'll like look for like things to mine or stuff like that. Maybe when I drop his butt off, I'll do that, because that would be pushing it with this dude. But let's just see if even me like sitting out front, just looking for rifts, annoyed him. So if I roll a 1 or a 2 on this D6, he's already mad at me. Okay, good. Which makes sense. He was inside. And little do I know, he actually had my best interest at heart telling me about this. But we do make our way into the Crystal Plains right here. And let's just check out what that is, because I move into a different area. Okay, Crystal Plains. Used to be a skating rink I went to as a kid called Crystal Palace. On New Year's Eve, I would do the all-night skates, the lock-in. Situated to the south of Helos, the defining feature of the Crystal Plains is the large crystal formations that are scattered throughout the region. That's why it's named that. These crystals are unlike any others found in the world, as they're known to attract lightning. Oh, that's bad. The skies above the plains light up with brilliant flashes of lightning, illuminating the crystal formations and creating awe-inspiring sights. That actually sounds really cool. Which makes sense. He has this wagon. I need to flip it over to protect him from the rains and lightning. The crystals themselves vary in size, ranging from small palm-sized pieces to towering monoliths that reach several stories tall. Holy crap! Okay, I was thinking they're like 6 feet tall max. Some of the large formations are said to be home to powerful magical energies, drawing in mystics and wizards from across the plains in search of their power. Despite the beauty and allure, the crystal formations can also be incredibly dangerous. The lightning strikes that they attract are unpredictable and can strike anywhere in the vicinity of the crystals, creating a hazardous environment for those who dare to venture too close. The crystals themselves are also incredibly sharp, and a misstep can easily result in a nasty cut or injury. Ugh, we're like walking across it too. The whole ground is this? That sucks. Do I have shoes? The Crystal Plains are also home to a small community of nomadic people known as the Crystal Clan. This ancient tribe has lived on the plains for centuries and is fiercely protective of their home, viewing outsiders with suspicion and distrust. Despite this, the Crystal Clan is known to be hospitable to travelers who show respect for their traditions and their way of life. Maybe that's on my little receipt too. The Crystal Plains, I do have a smaller die. Oh no, a larger die. So the more hazardous an area is, the die you roll is a bigger polyhedral, because if you remember, on a 5 or above, it is a combat. So I'm rolling a d6, I only have a 33% chance. But when I'm rolling like a d8, I have a 50% chance of a combat. I can only move 2 a day, so I'll get this guy to his stupid place tomorrow. So this is like our only night out camping, which is fine. Let's see how our day ends here. Travel die of, oh god, a D10. I was hoping for a D8. It looks like I may get in a combat tonight. Ooh, but let's see what happens. All right, so here we are. I'm like, looking for rifts. I'm like, oh man, I'd really like to go try to mine that, knowing I can't. But let's see, I need to roll a D10. Want low. It's not low. That's a combat. So again, like we're like bopping over the, the rough terrain, and somebody spots us. Oh my gosh. Who am I getting into combat with now? Let's find out. So Alex T has put out, because after a period of time, you're going to go through these, these 20 different encounters. You're going to start getting repeats, and you're going to probably start getting repeats of the same things you're fighting. But Alex T does have gazetteers, basically, for each section that greatly expands them. And again, I saw these. I thought this was 6 feet tall. Apparently, they can be stories tall, which is like a kilometer. Okay, so who are we fighting? I think I want low on this. I think I want bandits, because I sure don't want a winged naga or a thunderbird. 7. Bandits. Thank goodness. All right, looks like we're fighting some bandits, which makes sense. So I see them. He's probably like, no, there's some bandits. Go get them. Because he's used to strangers taking things out. Like, oh, okay, defensive formations. And flip over his cart to protect him like a little turtle in his shell. And all right, let's see who these bandits are. Oh my gosh. And it says bandits plural, which scares me. I wonder if I'm going to fight ranged opponents. That's scary. Ruthless men and women who profit from assaulting the trade caravans. That's me. And lone travelers. That's us. They are skilled in both ranged, and melee combat, and are not afraid to resort to dirty tactics to get the upper hand. Oh, butts. So let's see. There are 3 of them. Don't like that. They have a health of 8. All right, that's not the worst thing in the world. Combat skills 50, but I can parry 20 of it because I have a shield. Oh, I need to change my loadout a bit too. I'm going to replace the shield spell, because I have a shield, with probably another force ball. So you can see here they have their move. I didn't talk about this last session, but sometimes things can move more than once, but they only move 1 space, which is great. So they have the following traits. They have melee. Melee just means they're like melee attackers. They want to get up in my face. They have swift, which means that they get a +10 on their initiative check, and they're a stalker, which means I can't avoid this combat. And maybe I can't escape either. So nonetheless, I throw this guy down. I flip over his cart, which actually probably feels really good, because again, I'm kind of walking it. I'm carrying it, and he's behind me. I just turn around, and he's just whoa! He just flips over backwards, and I go into a combat position. So let's roll initiative. I believe it is perception versus perception, and they do have a +10 to this. So their perception, they do have a +10 to this, is a 60. Yeesh. Don't like that. An 89, fantastic. So maybe I do see them. I'm just kind of like walking. I'm like, what is that over there? Those people's hiding behind that kilometers tall spire? Let's see though. Let's see, does that actually happen? My perception is a 51. 41, great, I see them. Hooray, I gotta go first. So let's draw our cards. We have Arcane Blast, groovy. Force Ball, groovy. So I have 3 Force Balls in my deck currently. The second I use this spell once, the other ones go away, and they become Weapon Strikes. All right, Arcane Blast, Force Ball, Shadow Jump, Shadow Jump. All right, not the best mix, but I'll take it regardless. I go first. They're not in Force Ball range yet. I think they may have some ranged abilities. I don't want to look, because I just kind of like to be surprised, stupidly. My concern is if I take a step forward, I Shadow Jump into their area, I do Force Ball, if they still live, I'm there, and they just start shivving me in the kidneys. So I'm going to hold on to my Force Ball. I think I'm just going to do an Arcane Blast. It has a range of 2. I may be a complete coward and just hold my ground. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to a Shadow Jump and Force Ball and an Arcane Blast, and I'm going to get rid of these 2 other cards. So I'm going to be a big old coward and hold my ground and hope for the best, that they don't have a range 2 attack. So here they come. This first guy's like, all right, sucker. So I'm probably also flipping the guy over and doing all my preparations for this guy while he's yelling at me. Let's see what these guys have up their sleeves. So one moves forward and he is going to roll a 1d6. 6. Dirty trick. The bandit throws sand or dirt in their target's face. Not me, baby. So maybe I see him. He's kind of walking towards me going, yeah. Doing that meme of the dude hiding behind the tree. He just takes up a handful of dirt. The next one is going to walk forward and... Ooh, sneak attack. I do see they do have a ranged attack. So, but they are not doing that. And then this last ding-dong, there it is, ranged attack. The bandit takes aim with their crossbow, making a combat skill check and firing a bolt that deals... Okay, how far? 2 combat zones. God darn it. All right, so this guy is getting a shot off at me. So this is making a combat skill check and firing. It does D8 plus 2 piercing to a random target. That's me. I think I got to add parry to this, weirdly enough, because this well, that isn't too weird. I mean, I have a sword. Can I Aragorn it and kind of hit it out of the way? And also, I have a shield, which I'm going to hunker down. It's like, oh crap, he's got a crossbow. And I quickly get behind my shield. So he's going to fire that off. Let's see how this goes for him. Again, I have a parry of 25. He is making a combat skill check of 50, so it is knocked down to a 25. Yay! Thunk! Hits right in my shield. Great. And then it is my turn, and this is where I kind of go a little supernova, I think. I am going to take 2 more cards this round. Arcane Blast, and we've got another Force Ball, which the Force Ball will turn into a Weapon Strike in my hand here in a second. But let's see how this Force Ball does. I could also just Shadow Jump and do my best to hide if they're remaining here. So I'm going to move up here. So I kind of come up and all of a sudden, my hair. Oh, remember how I have living hair? Maybe it stands up on end before I do this Force Ball, touching the Tesla ball or something like that. My hair is sticking straight up. My eyes are starting to glow gold. And I'm going to unleash my Force Balls. I couldn't help myself. There's a primary target, and then there's just his allies. I forgot about that part. The primary target, we'll go for the one who shot at me with a crossbow, the southernmost here. The primary target suffers D8 plus 2 arcane damage. They need to make an agility check. So this guy has a 60 agility. Love for him to roll a 61 or above. 5, dang it. So they just see what's happening. They kind of just step back, seeing this happen. That's the first one. The other ones, all other targets with the range suffer D8. They still have to dodge this. So again, they do have a 60. Okay. Great. 99. That is a big old fail for the one in the middle. And then the northernmost, 6. So the one in the middle suffers D8 arcane damage, and they do take full damage from this. I don't think this can be protected against. Holy crap. I hit him. So maybe I just don't know how the thing works. I'm kind of like Cyclops when he gets his glasses knocked off. I go, ah! I just missed the one I'm going for, but I eradicate the one in the middle. Eradicator! If anyone knows that very niche pop culture reference that I just uttered, please leave a comment. You will get a gold star. That's a pretty deep cut. Okay, so he's gone. The one in the middle is gone, which is Great. So that did cost me 6. So Force Ball is out of my hand. That is a Weapon Strike. I have 4 points left, which is an Arcane Blast. And Shadow Jump is a 3. So I can either Shadow Jump into their shadows and like do my best to hide. Do I go defensive or do I just try to take one out? So one of them's going to probably see me and hit me. They have a 60% chance of dodging my attack. Then they have a 50% chance of not being killed by it. So that's like a 25% chance of getting rid of one of them, or like a 50% chance of being hit by one of them. It's kind of 50-50 at this point. Man, this is good. I like this. This is fun. I'm like, what do I do? I'm going to Shadow Jump. I know it's dumb. I just feel like I have a better chance, maybe, of this. And also, that does help my Concealed Predator. That puts me up to an 8. So I go into my shadows, and then I maybe appear behind them. And let's hope for the best. I am going to quickly change my cards out and get rid of Force Ball. That leaves me with 2 Arcane Blasts, which I do enjoy. All right, so their perception is a 50. Yeesh. All right, so this is the northernmost. He doesn't see me. Fantastic. I'm assuming he just stays here. He probably doesn't go to where I was. They just lose sight of me, so they won't move towards a target that isn't there. Here's the next one. Oh, so this guy unfortunately sees me. And he is going to 6. Dirty trick. Aw, man. He throws sand in my face. I'm blinded for a round. You jerk. Remember, the northernmost picked up sand. I didn't see this guy pick up sand. He's really crafty. Dirt in the face. So, and again, like Jean-Claude Van Damme. Yeah! Yeah! So, yeah. You are next. I break you like I break your friend. Ooh, gross. So blinded is I have minus 40 to all of my checks until my next turn. So that sucks. And there's nothing I can do about it. The bandit throws sand or dirt in my face. I'm blinded for a round. I don't think I can get away from that. What a butthole. I think I'd rather have been hit. Okay, well, I'm going to get some more cards. So we've got Shadow Jump, Weapon Strike, and Shadow Jump. And I have 2 Arcane Blasts. Well, okay, so my question is with Arcane Blast, for instance, they make the check. I don't. They have to make an agility check. So how does that work? Because like it says I have minus 40 to all my checks. Does that mean that gives them a plus 40? I don't know the rule, so I'm going to give them a minus 20 to this. I'm just going to start blasting. Actually, this is probably exactly what I'll do. I'll do an Arcane Blast. I'll do a Weapon Strike, which will be really bad. And then I will just try to Shadow Jump and hide again. First and foremost, I'm going to Arcane Blast this guy. We'll go through the guy who just threw the freaking sand in my face. He was the last thing I saw. So, here we go. This is his... He rolled an 89. So he had to roll an 80 to get this because I gave him that minus 20. But he rolled an 89. I don't know if I'm at a minus 40 or no minus whatsoever. So I'll just give myself a minus 20. And it paid off there. So I'm going to hit this guy. 1d8 plus 2. Great. Eradicated. Goodbye, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Sorry, buddy. All right, that leaves me with 1. And I am going to Weapon Strike, and this is going to be really bad. So this is full on minus 40. I have a 20 to hit. Well, hang on. What's this dude's parry? 15. I have a 5% chance of hitting. So again, my bladed weapons is a 60. I'm at a minus 40 because I'm blinded. So like I turn around with my blade and I just start swinging. And then their parry is a 15. So that 20 gets knocked down to a 5. I fail, and then I immediately just jump into a shadow. So, and I can just automatically do that. That makes me concealed, so that bumps me up to a 9 out of 20. That'll be really nice to get advantage on this concealed thing, though, when that finally kicks in. So he does have to see me now, and that's pretty nice. So his perception is pretty decent. 22. So he got a critical success on that. So he sees me. Great. So hi. I'm standing there, but I'm starting to get the sand out of my eyes. It's gonna be really funny if he throws it back in my eyes. He doesn't. This is a ranged assault. So I'm just like, I'm finally getting the crap out of my eyes. I need to see the crossbow bolt right in my face. If the target is within the same combat zone, they also suffer a minus 20 penalty to their next attack. So I guess I have to be hit for this to happen. I can parry this. I can get behind my shield. My parry is 25. They roll a 50 minus 25 is a 25. You butthole. So maybe they like fire a shot, or I think they do. They're smart. Maybe they like throw a rock and I hear it hit my shield. I'm like, yeah. And then they just shoot me. Or again, I still have crap in my eyes too. So they hit me 1d8 plus 2. I don't like that. I rolled low for them at least. So that's 5. Oh, my shield has taken damage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this now, because I have a tendency of forgetting at the end of combat. Because I have blocked with my shield. I've used my shield. So I blocked that. So now I'm using my leather armor as well. Absorption value, what is it? D6 protection. So they gave me 5, I block 4. I only took 1 point of damage. That's amazing. So I'm going to do this now, just because I forget a lot. How the game works with their usage die, if you do use your armor or your shield in combat, or you start shooting arrows from your quiver, you roll the usage die at the end of combat. You only roll this once, but since I just used both of them, I'm going to just roll it now, because I will forget. I'm checking out the integrity, and it's a little hard to see this, but my leather armor has a D10 integrity. If I roll a 1 or a 2, it would go down a step. It's fine. It's still holding up. My shield has a D8 integrity. Still holding up. If I rolled a 1 or 2, I'd go down to the next polyhedral die, then the next. Now, if I let it deteriorate that much, I can repair it, I think, in Car Helos. But if I let it go down to a D4 and that rolls a 1 or 2, I think it's just damage beyond repair. But it's fine. So that guy hits me. I don't like that. I just took a point of damage. But now I can see, and that's nice. And they didn't steal anything from me. They can, like, steal things from me in empty pockets, and then they run away like jerks. So anyway, I have an Arcane Blast, a Shadow Jump, a Weapon Strike, which I'm not super keen on, a Backstab, which I am keen on, and another Shadow Jump. I think you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to Shadow Jump, which conceals me. Then I'm going to Backstab, because that'll do double damage if I hit, and then I'm going to Shadow Jump again. This is just something that I like to do. The Arcane Blast is good and all, but they're pretty freaking agile. Shadow Jump. I am going to instantly teleport into their shadow to become concealed. And then I am going to try to Backstab. It is a Weapon Strike, which is just a bladed weapon attack. This is at a -20, if you do remember, because he shot at me from close range. I think that was the reason. So this is a 40. That'd be great to hit. Yeah. 56. Man, I would have hit if I didn't have that -20. That stinks. So I just miss. I do my next Shadow Jump to become concealed again. So that does put me concealed again. That does mark this up to an 11. And then I am going to reshuffle these cards. And now it is his turn. And let's see if he sees me. He has a 50% chance. So I kind of go into his shadow. Hi. He's a bandit. He's crafty. He knows what I'm up to. 2. This is the sneak attack. The bandit attempts to catch me off guard, making a combat skill check. Then I have to make a perception check or take 2 more points of damage. Nonetheless, let's see if I parry this. I do have my shield. I have my sword. He has to hit me. 25% chance. Critical fail. I'm crafty too, baby, and I see this coming. I've got Shadow Jump again, surprise. And I've got Backstab, and I've got Arcane Blast. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to try to hit him twice. So I'm going to leave myself vulnerable and not hidden at the end of this turn, but I am going to definitely Shadow Jump and Backstab. Let's start with that, because that may just be all I need to do. I become concealed again, which makes me happy. So I'm concealed, and then I'm just trying to hit this guy, and I finally have my full repertoire at my disposal. Rolled a 39. I'm at a 60. I think he parries me for 15. I hit. Yay, I hit him. And I do... Oh, and Backstab, a 2d6 plus 2. 9, 10, 11. He does have d6 protection. I want him to roll low. If he rolls low, I got him. That's low. I got him. Yay! Okay, let's see. What do I get out of this? Where's your loot, bro? I was hoping for some loot or some money or something. And so maybe when I like go to that guy, he's like already asleep, like just like totally passed out. And like, we just like, all right, I guess I'll just set camp for the night. So anyway, we're going to stop here. So next session, we'll continue on. We have 2 more hexes. I may have another fight. I'll drop that dude off. And then we'll jump back to Car Helos, and maybe I'll get my companion. And that could be it. I don't know. Maybe I'll continue the patrol. I honestly don't know. Because I got how many? 4 more Black Oath games to get to. So, yeah. Dude, super fun game. Really, really enjoying this. I think I did mostly everything right. If I didn't, again, as Alex T said, it's not going to break his game. Check out the next episode, and please feel free to join me whenever you see me streaming games, which is typically Mondays and Tuesdays. Okay, I'm done. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Avery with Alone in the Dork, and until next time, stay dorky, my friends.